Hello YouTube, my name is Paul. Hope you're all keeping well. Welcome back to another episode of Amiga Power Top 100. So we go down from what, game 90 to 81. A lovely mix of games here as well. Some games which I know you guys would consider to be some of the very best. And some games that probably should be deserving of a place in the top 10, let alone top 100. So yeah, no dodgy games in this one, like the previous episode. But there is one PD game which is actually very good. And certainly, I certainly enjoyed it whilst I played it, from a very famous programmer of old. So yeah, just grab yourselves a cup of tea or whatever you drink on a Sunday afternoon. Let's crack on with this Amiga Power Top 100 list. Let's crack on then. So, in at number 90, the sequel to one of the finest horizontal shoot-'em-ups of all time. Certainly a groundbreaking game when it was released sometime in the mid-80s. This particular game isn't bad, I've got to say. So there's one space in your cupboard for a ruthless, frantic, horizontally scrolling shoot-'em-up, then it's got to be this one. Power-ups included. Tokenism? No way. Now this particular game, I've only recently picked up myself for the collection, the R-Type 2. I played it a little bit. I found it quite accommodating in the fact you can get into it quite easily in comparison to the original game, which is a little bit harder. So in terms of ease of access, yes, good game. It's quite slow, a little bit sluggish. Personally wouldn't be in my top 100, but who knows, it might well be in yours. That's R-Type 2 Activision. Now next up is a genre of games that don't really get a lot of mention, yet it's probably one of the genres of games that I spent hundreds if not thousands of hours of playing in my gaming history. So this game is at number 89 by Gremlin Graphics, the most comprehensive footy manny sim of all. This one has all the options you could want, and a few more besides. So that is none other than the second best franchise on the Amiga, Premier Manager 3. Never really played these games, not to their full extent. I think I played the original one more than its sequels. But yeah, certainly got a lot of options within the game. All the usual stuff really, building up your stadium, selecting your squad, buying and selling players, tactics. The graphical interface certainly better than my favourite chosen soccer game, or football management game. Soccer, where'd I get that from? But yeah, it's for me personally, again, wouldn't quite make the top 100, but you guys may prefer that to the other franchise that I absolutely adore. So yeah, it's number 89, Premier Manager 3.
What a magnificent run and a fabulous goal! But the man who made the goal is the player manager.
Well, well, well. Another game that could cause a little bit of controversy. Personally, for me, not one of my favourite games. A very good game of the genre, but not really my favourite, personally. So if there was only one space in your cupboard for a ruthless, frantic, horizontal scrolling shoot 'em up with insects, wasps, drone beetles and snails, then it has got to be this one. Tokenism, we told you so. Apidia. I like it. It's a very competent shooter. Definitely would say that. I found it bloody hard though. It's quite a difficult game to get into. It was later re-released by Team 17, wasn't it? But personally, it's not my favourite shooter on the Amiga. It's probably not even in my top 5, to be honest. I just can't get over playing a wasp. Don't know what it is. But yeah, graphics are fantastic in places. You can probably see there the end of level baddie guy. But I know a lot of you will be screaming and shouting at the screen, moaning at Amiga Power, asking yourself what were they thinking. But yeah, it would be in my top 100 games of all time, probably for the Amiga. But it certainly wouldn't be as high as some of you guys would like to see it. That's Apidia. Now next up is a game which I would never expect to be in this list. Quite a few games like that on this particular top 100 listing. By a legendary software house, used to be owned by British Telecom back in the day, Firebird. By a legendary programmer who still goes about his business today, delighting us with his games. So this particular game then is Z-Wolf Has a Mum and a Dad in Desert Strike and Virus. It's a game that launched the Acorn Electron and also has one of the hardest control systems of all time. And there we go, Virus. Again, a game I've never ever gotten into. I'm quite mesmerised though watching the old rolling demo, which I guess you guys are going to watch in a minute. But for me personally, I cannot get into this game. Ease of access is like nearly impossible. But yeah, personally for me, would not make this top 100. But some of you guys may have played this enough to appreciate what it's really about. But I know every review or reviewer back in the day praised this game. I remember so, especially on the Sinclair Spectrum. But yeah, for me, wouldn't make the top 100. So yeah, next up, a game which was brilliantly converted to the Amiga from one of its console cousins, and in my view upgraded. Compared to the Gulf War syndrome and the plight of the Kurds, the gung-ho antics of man and helicopter in perfect harmony must surely be the only good thing to come out of the invasion and subsequent retaking of Kuwait. Of course, it is Desert Strike. Return to the Gulf. I've got to be honest, I remember buying this game, I loved it. Absolutely brilliant game. Certainly one that will take a spot in my personal top 100. I thought it was a cracking conversion. Had great graphics. It was a bit of an upgrade to the Mega Drive version, though some of you might dispute that. But the music at the beginning, bloody hell, was that good. Yeah, I never got that far in it. I can get to probably the second load of levels. But certainly one I would recommend if you've never played it on the Amiga. It's a brilliant conversion. So yeah, another game that would make my top 100. But yeah, maybe what, 2 out of 5 so far? So not doing too well, are we?
Warning.
Next up at number 85 is a rather unique title. Platformer, bit of hack and slash, as they call it these days, by Gremlin Graphics, who did predominantly, if not in their entirety, made original games. This game is a sequel to one of their classics. Back in the days that computer game success was measured by how much like an arcade game they were, people frequently stopped and gasped, "My, isn't Switchblade 2 just like an arcade game?" Often in the street, to complete strangers. I think I've done that before myself. But there we go, Switchblade 2. Really good hack and slash. A game that I'd like to spend a bit more time on, as is the case for the original title as well. But really good, very well polished title. It'd be one of those games like in the previous 10 games I showed you. It'd probably be in the on the fence pile. I'm not sure if this game would be in my top 100 or not, but it's certainly a very good game. I've just not played it enough. Tell me what you think below in the comments. Switchblade 2. There's not many games so far that I've mentioned that I would say should deserve a higher spot within the Amiga Power Top 100 listing. This is certainly one of them. A point and click adventure outside of the legendary Monkey Island. I probably would say this is my favourite. Point and click. It's a cracking game. Comic book hero Dave Gibbons' input makes this a visual treat and the story of future Outlander returning to the big city provides enough intrigues to push you through the huge stack of discs that this comes on. Also available on CD with a bland, talky track. Speaking of bland, talky tracks, this is what this one is. Beneath a Still Sky. Absolutely cracking. Yeah, the talky soundtrack isn't that spectacular, and in some ways when you read the text on an adventure game, it gets your imagination going a bit, doesn't it, as well? So when you sat there listening to relatively poor voice acting, it does take that away a little bit. But yeah, to be fair, it's a cracking point and click, and I completed it back in the day, but I must admit I did look at a lot of guides to get through, because it's a flipping big game. Graphically, it's absolutely superb. Will this be? It'll certainly be in my top 100 games of all time for the Amiga, without a fail. Next up, a bit of PD. This one here is it's Robotron, but with llamas. The pleasantly deranged hippie mind of Jeff Minter, aka Ginger Hippie Gaming 42, provides more action per minute and more baddies per screen than any game before or since. And it's only shareware too. Now, I never really played much of Robotron. It's a game that a lot of people swear by. Some people do recommend it, or recommend or suggest it's the best arcade game ever made. I found it bloody hard, but I could never get used to twin sticks. Now the Amiga kind of translate that into joystick quite well, I've got to say, and I did enjoy playing this game. It's got a lot of exotic sound effects and graphics. But yeah, Jeff Minter, he does do some cracking games, especially arcade conversions of really frantic shooters. So yeah, Llamatron again. I would have to play it a bit more to decide if it made my own personal top 100. But before playing it to make this video, I'd never played it before. I'll tell you what, it's bloody good. So next up, a sport that again doesn't really get represented much in the gaming top 100 list. The rugby simulation? Why? That's the last thing we expected to be any good. Yet it is. Very good, in fact. Personally, not really for me. It's like Kick-Off, but rugby style. I don't think this is exactly the game that is in the Amiga Power Top 100, but it's a Domark game called Rugby the World Cup, and the one in here is called World Class Rugby. So I think it's got a different style box, but it is primarily the same game. So do apologise for that, but this is the only one I have. I thought I had it, It was something else. But yeah, personally, it wouldn't make my top 100. I'm not a fan of rugby. I don't understand what the hell's going on. But yeah, you guys might love it. But yeah, strange to see a rugby game so far up the list. Actually quite nice to see such a diverse range of games. So next up is another quite obscure sport, I suppose. You would never expect to see this game in the Amiga Power Top 100 listing. Simplicity is the key to arcade pool. With a top-down view and zippy control system you can get into straight away. It was also released for a shockingly sensible tenner. The idea, sadly, never caught on. It's a shame really. That game is arcade pool. Then on the CD32, I used to have a small box version on the Amiga back in the day. I never got on with this game. I've got to say, the physics all seem to work out pretty well. I'm sure there's other games like this that should be in this Amiga Power Top 100. Unfortunately, I didn't make it. But yeah, could this be the highest ranking pool stroke snooker game in the listing? We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, personally, I found it quite a difficult game. I mean, you can play it against computer opponents. Some of them are relatively easy. Some of them are brutally hard. But yeah, blimey. Certainly one I wouldn't put in the top 100. You guys again, you may think it's an excellent game. But yeah, well, it was a 10 out, wasn't too bad. But yeah, I can't imagine the CD32 version costing a 10 though. Mind you, it probably costs about 10 quid now if you're interested. But that's it. That is it for this episode of Amiga Power Top 100. We're now down to game 80. So yeah, stay tuned and hopefully the next one won't be too long before it's out for you guys to watch. So thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. I'll see you guys again real soon. Take care and bye for now.